our practice semester exam for Algebra 1B. If you've seen my other videos, you know we're working on problem number 13 here. But if you haven't, I'm going to link the other videos in the description so you can go back and be sure and get those. Remember, the whole purpose of our practice exam is that while you're taking that semester exam, you've got your practice exam sitting here. When you look at problem 13 on the exam, I want you to look back at the practice exam number 13 to refresh your memory on how to work that problem. Also, don't forget there's extra credit involved. So make sure that you're showing your steps along the way. You've got everything that I've got. So when you send that to me, man, it's super easy to give you that extra credit. So let's go ahead and get started. For problem number 13, if you saw problem number 12, you know I worked it with the box method, and I'm going to do it again because it's just so easy to organize our information. Now, I'm making 2 columns and 2 rows. 2 columns because there's 2 terms in the first parentheses, and 2 rows because there are 2 terms in the second parentheses. Now, I want to point out that you notice that I used a -3 for the 5x minus 3. I had to put a -3 there. Okay, that's how you deal with the subtractions. Now, we will fill the boxes by simply multiplying. 5x times 5x is 25x squared. 5x times 3 is 15x. 5x times -3 is -15x. And -3 times 3 is -9. Now, all we have to do is combine the like terms. So I see this 25x to the second. I don't have a term to go with that. Then I see these 2 x terms. I've got positive 15x and negative 15x. Those are going to add to give me 0. So I don't put an x term. Then I have -9. And this is my answer. In fact, this is called a difference of 2 squares. A difference of 2 squares. All right, I'm going to go ahead and circle it, make sure it looks like my answer. If you know me, seen my videos before, you know I like to use a lot of color. I love my highlighters and my colored pens. Now we're going to look at number 14. Now I probably have fixed this on yours, but this is an x squared. I want to make sure I get it right. And this is the area of a rectangular picture frame, and we want to find the possible dimensions of it, and we want to use factoring. So let's remember what factoring does. Factoring asks us to go back to 2 parentheses here that multiplied to give me x squared minus 3x minus 28. So the first, because there's no number in front of x squared, I know I can put x and x here. Then I asked myself, what 2 numbers multiply to give me -28, but add to give me -3? Let me say it again. What 2 numbers multiply to give me -28, but add to give me -3? Think about what multiplies to give you 28. 1 and 28. Of course, we've got to think about negatives. 2 and 14. Oh, no, 3. 4 and 7. Looks like the 4 and 7 is going to be my best combination if the 7 is negative. So I'm going to put a -7 here and a +4. Remember, what 2 numbers multiply to give me the term without a variable, but add to give me the term with a variable? And there is my answer. Yay! Okay, for number 15, we're going to use the Desmos graphing calculator. I'll be sure and link it in the description below so that you can use it pretty quickly, and you definitely want to use it on your semester exam. So let me switch views so you can see my Desmos graphing calculator. And I'm just going to graph this function, y equals 0.4x squared. It's really simple in Desmos. You just type it, y equals 0.4 x. Now the caret is the shift 6 to get in that exponent, 2. And there it is. Now the other beauty of Desmos is you can go over here and hover, and it'll tell you some points. You can go over here and let's see, this one looks pretty good. You can click on it, hold your cursor down and it'll tell you the value. So that's about 3 and almost 4. So 3 and almost 4. You see how I got some values then that I can graph with? Super nice. See if we can get this one. That one's negative almost 5 and almost 10. So negative 5 and almost 10. And then other than that, I just want to draw my general shape. Okay. That's super nice when you can use your Desmos there. Now, the domain, that's referring to the x's. And so I can put in any x here. So my domain is going to be all real numbers. And my range, I want you to see that all my y values are 0 or higher. So I can say that as y is greater than or equal to 0. And I do that from my graph. I'm looking at my graph to be able to tell that. Okay, let's look at question number 16. I'm going to flip our view back. We're given a nice equation there in number 16. It always makes me think I should be using Desmos. And like I said, I'll fix this when it comes out to you, but that should be t squared. And we want to answer some questions like how long does it take the pumpkin to reach its maximum height? What is the maximum height? Oh, friends, I'm going to that Desmos calculator. So I'm going to switch back, go back and forth here. And I'm going to put in that equation. Now for h, you're going to have to put in y equals because that's all that Desmos understands. You've got negative 16. I think you're going to have to use x squared. Remember, shift 6 to use that squared. Now use your right arrow to come out of the exponent and plus 150x plus 20. Now you're just seeing you're seeing these purple lines, okay? You can use the plus or minus here to zoom out. You see how Desmos is coming out till you can see the top. Because when we talk about maximum, we want to see the top. And you see that point there that Desmos has for you. There it is, okay? Now, question asks us, how long does it take the pumpkin to reach its maximum height? That is x. So let's just say the pumpkin reaches the max height of, okay, so how high was the maximum height? That's our 371 point, it says 100, round to hundreds, 56 feet at 4.69 seconds. Now, do you see where I got those values from that point in Desmos? Okay, I used it to be able to graph it, but then I've got to know which one's which. I've got to know that the x is the time and the height is the y value there. Okay, good job with that one. Keep that Desmos graphing calculator handy. We probably will be switching back to it, and that's okay. I wanted you to be using it on your exam. Work smarter, not harder, right? We've got 2 more to go. Notice on this one, we're being told to use the zero product property. That's a super easy one. You're going to take each of these things, the 5x and the 3x minus 2, and you're going to set them equal to 0. And you're going to solve. So we undo multiplying by 5 by dividing by 5 so that x is 0. We undo subtracting 2 by adding 2. That gives me 3x equals 2. And then we undo multiplying by 3 by dividing by 3. So the x is 2/3. I get 2 solutions for this one, so make sure that you get both of them. All right. Last one for this page. We are being asked to use the quadratic formula. And I even put the quadratic formula for you there on the review, on the practice exam, if you want to use the quadratic formula. I'm not going to use the quadratic formula. Is that okay? I'm going to use the Desmos. Are you with me? Okay, let's do it. Before I can use Desmos, though, I've got to get this equal to 0. That means I've got to move this 5x over to the other side. When I move it to the other side, I want you to make sure you're adding it. You're doing the opposite of what is there. Okay, it was negative 5x. That's why I added to the other side. Now let's switch back to our Desmos. I'm going to show you how Desmos is going to be your friend here. I want you to put in y equals x squared plus 5x plus 4. Now, I remember we zoomed out quite a bit, so let me zoom back in a little bit so we can see better. I'm just using that plus there. That'll work for us there. Okay. Remember, this is equal to 0. So I want you to look at what this value right here, where it hits the x-axis. Desmos is telling me, hey, that's when x is negative 1. So that's my solution, one of my solutions. And then I'm going to, right there, Desmos is telling me that's the other solution. Now, I could use quadratic formula to do that. But if I have my friend Desmos here with me, I definitely want to put it to good use. So that wraps up the problems for this page. I'll link the next video for you. As always, please let me know if you have questions or comments that I can help with. That's why I'm here. So you can leave those in the comment below.